Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, basketball fans, to the No Trade Clause podcast. We are coming back at you live from our studio here at the Thomas Mack Center in Las Vegas. We're glad to have everybody back for another installment of the pod. And on this one, I'm joined by Oliver Aruda, a fellow NTC contributor. But on this one, we have the unique privilege of welcoming on Haywood Highsmith, forward from Miami Heat. He actually just came off of a Summer League performance here over at the Cox Pavilion, so we really appreciate his time this afternoon coming in and just kind of picking his brain about a little bit of how things go and his journey as a basketball player. So, Haywood, thanks so much for joining us, and we're excited to have this conversation with you here this afternoon.
Appreciate you guys having me. Excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll jump right into things. I wanted to start here at the beginning of your journey as a basketball player because you came from just working as a Division II player at a Wheeling, and you went undrafted, and you had a unique journey as a basketball player, kind of just grinding your way up to where you are now. Playing on the Summer League team, being a part of the Miami Heat. So I just wanted to first off just ask you, that journey, kind of coming up as kind of like more of an overlooked player, underrated player, not being selected as part of the draft process. How did you how have you been kind of dealing with that kind of tag that comes along with being more of an underrated player, overlooked player? Do you have that chip on your shoulders that help drive you as you progress through your career and the various stops through your career so far?
Yeah, I mean, when I was playing basketball at a young age, I always was overlooked as a player, high school, college, so always having that chip on my shoulder has always been a thing of mine. I'm an underdog and I'm underrated, and I do things to prove people wrong. I've been doing it my whole life, and, that's my motivation. My family has been my support system no matter what, and end of the day, anything is possible, and I just kept pushing until I got my goal, which is NBA, obviously, and then, I never looked back and, just try to just give it all I got.
Definitely, man, and getting over that hump, getting over that mountain, but obviously once you get to the NBA, there's still a ton of work left to do, right? So you've got, you started off getting some 10-day contracts in the Phillies organization, now had some stops in Miami, got a few 10 days. Ultimately, that led to, some longer-term deal. And what are some methods that you've put into effect to get that longer-term contract? A lot of guys get 10 days, especially with COVID, right?
Right.
It's easier to get a 10-day when all these guys are missing sick and you get a call last minute. Agent will call you, man, we need you in the arena tonight. But how do you stick? What did you do that maybe someone else could benefit from to make them stick?
Yeah, I really think a big part of, why I sticked was I was the first one always in the gym and always one of the last ones to leave. I put in the extra work, with the Heat and also in the G League as well. If you ask around the league, I'm probably one of the hardest workers, in the G League and the NBA. I just like playing basketball. I love it. And my advice would be just grind, put in the extra work, put in the unseen hours. I'll give an example. I had a 10-day with the Heat. This was right before All-Star break. So, I played a game, and my 10-day was still going over All-Star break. So I actually stayed in Miami and, was using the facilities during All-Star break while everybody was, on vacation or whatever. So, I think stuff like that, you can really, put yourself, in good position when you put in the extra work and you show general managers and staff that, that you're locked in and, you want to be great and, you put in the work to be great.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good point because there are a certain amount of, the rules say whether it's a 10-day contract, but you also need to fulfill a certain amount of games within those 10 days. So it could technically go longer, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
You definitely, sounds like you took advantage of that. I think that's some great advice that hopefully other people can take advantage of as they make their way.
I really keyed in on a few words that you were putting out when you're talking about the way you play and what made you stand out and get to the point where you are today. You talked about being the first one in the gym. You talked about being a hard worker, just putting your nose to the grindstone and really going out there and setting yourself apart by the hustle that you display on the court. I witnessed that over here at Cox Pavilion just a few minutes ago. You're playing against Boston. I saw you pick up almost half court, and you almost forced a 24-second violation by yourself. You picked up, you really took pride in defense. That's something that stood out to me. It seems like you're a natural fit for the Heat culture that we hear all about all the time.
Yeah.
It's that term that's thrown around in any kind of circle in the NBA that you will go and look at. So I just want to ask you about that unique aspect that team brings specifically. What have you gleaned from being a part of that environment? What maybe sets them apart from being a part of other organizations when it comes to the expectations they set, the standards they set? What have you kind of gained so far from just being a part of that really high-quality organization that places a huge emphasis on some of the things that you take pride in, such as working hard and just being a dog on the court?
Yeah, the Miami Heat, they're all about culture, like you said. I think the culture, starts from the top with Pat Riley, obviously, then goes, to the players, the coaches, and everybody's locked in on one goal, and it's all about winning. That's what he culture is about, winning, being tough, being physical, being in the best condition, being the hardest working team in the NBA. And it starts with defense. Like you said, I like to play defense as well. But, one thing I'll say is Heat culture is not for everybody, The tough guys stick, and I'll say that. But, I love the Heat culture. Since I've been there, I've learned so much. We got great coaches, we got great players, we got one of the hardest working players in the NBA, and Jimmy Butler. You got Kyle Lowry, another hardworking guy. So I'll also learn from P.J. Tucker, who's not with the team anymore, obviously, but he's also a guy that really embodies Heat culture. Udonis Haslem as well. But Heat culture is all about just being tough, gritty, the underdog, and, just playing defense, stuff that I like to do. So that's why I fit it so well. So, I'm all about Heat culture.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
I love
man.
it.
It's funny you actually mentioned PJ. Well, we were curious, what did you get the chance to learn from him? And I'm sure you guys, playing a similar position, playing a similar role on a team, and his experience, not only in the NBA, but his whole basketball career, his basketball journey, kind of similar to yours, where he had to really scrape and claw for every opportunity he got. And then once he kind of got settled in the league, now the sky's the limit. He just got a nice payday from Philly. So maybe on the court and then also off the court, managing, being a professional in this league, what are some things you took away from him?
Yeah, PJ was one of the guys I looked up to when I was on the Heat. Just the way he plays, the way he is in timeouts and the way he's in the locker room, you can just tell that, he just wants to win. And he wants to win it. He wants to do anything that can help us win. He's not a guy that's going to fill the stat sheet, fill a bunch of points, a whole bunch of stats. But, he does winning things. He dives on the floor. He sets screens. He hustles, get offensive rebounds. He guards the best players, And I really think that, I can really look at his game and I can see myself in it a little bit. I'm not P.J. Tucker. He's a seasoned vet. He's guarded some of the best players in this league. But, looking at him, it definitely gives me faith that, it's a spot in the league for me in the rotation, and just trying to just get there some way, somehow. And, PJ was just a guy that was just, he played through injuries, he played through a lot of things, but he's a tough guy, one of the toughest guys in the NBA, one of the guys who worked the hardest in the NBA. He's just got that dog in him for sure.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's a common theme throughout that entire team. They're interesting personalities as a part of the Miami Heat team, to say the least. One guy that you had mentioned before, Jimmy Butler, I wanted to touch on real quick. I mean, this dude has his own brand. He has the big face coffee. He charges $20 a cup. Very premium service. I don't know if you've had a chance to try out that kind of coffee yet. Or
I haven't. I actually drink, not a lot of coffee, but I drink coffee sometimes. But I haven't tried it. But I heard it's pretty good. So I'm looking to try it soon.
Worth $20, you think?
That depends. I don't know if coffee should be worth $20, but it depends.
A little
We'll
bit of a
see.
stretch.
We'll see. That might be a little high. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to get back to him on that and see if he can offer a little bit of discount. I heard that he doesn't do that. That's not a part of his DNA, but maybe he can make an exception for you.
Yeah, we'll see. I've knew Jimmy since Philly, so we go way back. So maybe we'll see.
Oh, nice. I wanted to dive into that a little bit more since you know him. You have a background with him previously. He's one of those big personalities. Some people kind of put this unfair label on him earlier in his career of being a difficult guy to work with, this guy in the locker room that just causes problems. But I think it's evident over his performance over the past few years or so with Miami, that's just not the case. He's a guy that elevates teammates, elevates everybody that he works with, and inspires people to go out there and just work hard. So, would you say there's, certain things from him that you have picked up that, you're taking forward with you in your career, things that he's teaching you that you're carrying forward? Is it sort of similar themes to P.J. Tucker, things you've learned from him? Anything, maybe separate or different that you've learned from him? Like, what's your experience been like working with him, but now and in the past?
I think the big thing with Jimmy is his mentality, the way he is, and, the way he thinks. He has the same type of mentality P.J. has. They're just dogs. You can just tell they just want it. You're not going to take it from them. They're going to do whatever it takes to win. And, I've been with Jimmy since Philly, like I said, so I've been saying it for a minute. The way he plays, how he is, in the locker room. And, he's all about winning, and he's a great guy off the court as well. You never get to talk to him. But he's all about winning, that's all he cares about. And definitely a superstar in this league, and I'm very blessed to have him as a vet, on the team that I'm on right now.
I guess we want to wrap up with, the whole reason, like, why we're here and, what we're trying to get out of these next few months. Obviously, players in the offseason, they look to improve their game. They look to stay sharp, stay competitive. We talked about sticking in the league, what it takes. So getting some new things in your bag or perfecting certain things about your game, that's part of it so you can stick, right? So what are some things that you got honed in on? I mean, obviously we spent a ton of time in the gym together.
Yeah.
What are some things you honing on this specific off season to, be able to contribute to Miami again this season, upcoming season?
I think a big part of me has always been, it starts with defense for me. I feel like I can guard the best players in the league. Right now I have a great wingspan and like 7 feet. I'm like 6'5", 6'6", so I can guard some of the best wings, maybe some point guards, and some fours as well if they're going small. So I think it starts with defense with me, just being active, being the defender I know I can be. And, the offense end, I feel like, it's all about just making sure my three-point shot stay consistent, not hesitating, making sure my feet are set, making sure it's one motion. Obviously that labels me as kind of like a 3-and-D guy, and that kind of fits the Miami Heat culture and it fits this league. 3-and-D guys, make good money in this league, which I want to be, But I think just this offseason is all about just being in the best shape, make sure I'm lifting, make sure, I'm putting the right foods in my body, and just making sure I'm ready to go. I think another part, also just screening as far as, I can be the forward for the Heat. Maybe sometimes with Jimmy on the floor, he can be the third, I'll be the four. So just screening, they're switching 1 through 4, and I'm the 4, trying to screen the lower half and get in that little pocket, create that show roll, which PJ did so well.
Yeah.
And, a guy like also Caleb Martin did so well for the team that I was, obviously watching in the playoffs, watching them do that a lot. So, watching that, I think I can, work on that, this offseason. And, as in the gym, just trying to just get better, with Ronnie in Miami, just trying to get better every day. And, just, trying to, improve every day and get better every day, like I said. For sure.
Man, all this talk about grinding, getting in the gym, being better every day, it's got inspired me, man. Like, I heard about an open run going on, nearby this evening. So I'm like, it makes me want to just jump in there. Like, forget going on in the town, man. I know it's Vegas and stuff, but I want to get in the gym.
Go ahead and get some buckets, man. I believe in you. I believe in you.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yep. So that's going to wrap up our episode here live from Thomas and Mack Center. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and giving us a little piece of your day. Thanks so much, to Haywood here for joining us on this podcast. Best of luck to you, man. Very impressive performance here against the Celtics this afternoon. Keep doing your thing, and I wish all the best for you going forward.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate you, Oliver, and appreciate you, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem at all, man. So, just as a reminder to everybody out there, we do have a resource, No Trade Clause. NoTradeClause.com is where you can find all of our resources, such as cap sheets, transaction log, draft capital, all the good stuff there. If you guys are just looking to kind of deepen your knowledge of the NBA and kind of keep up with what's going on here on a day-to-day basis. So we'll be back here live from Thomas and Mack a few more times over the next week or so with more podcasts with some more great guests, such as our guy right here in Miami. And be sure to tune in here. If you're live, stop by our booth, check us out, and we're really happy to have the opportunity here to bring out more podcasts to you guys. So until next time, enjoy the Summer League action. Take care of yourselves. Stay cool in the summer months here, and we'll be back before you know it on another podcast. We'll see you guys soon.